The mansion stood tall under the soft glow of the evening lights, its windows sparkling like diamonds. Inside, laughter and music floated through the grand halls. It was a night full of energy and luxury, with guests moving from one room to another, holding crystal glasses of sparkling drinks, dressed in elegant gowns and tailored suits. Everyone looked polished and confident, used to this world of wealth and privilege. Among the crowd, a little girl moved quietly, her small frame almost blending into the ornate surroundings. She was the daughter of the billionaire hosting the party, a bright and curious girl with soft brown eyes that often shone with wonder. Yet tonight, there was a shadow over her usual sparkle. The girl had autism. For her, big events like this were confusing and overwhelming. The music seemed too loud, the lights too bright, and the crowd too fast-moving. She didn't know how to talk to most of the people here, and she often felt like an observer, not a participant. She wandered near the corner of the main hall, her hands twisting the edges of her dress, her eyes scanning the room but never settling on anyone for too long. She wanted to enjoy the party, but it all felt too much. Her father, standing nearby in a crisp tuxedo, noticed her. He had always been careful to protect her, to understand her needs, but even he felt helpless sometimes when social situations became overwhelming for her. Meanwhile, a young black woman moved through the crowd with quiet confidence. She was a waitress, here to serve the guests, but there was something different about her presence. She carried herself with grace and calmness, a steady energy that seemed to contrast with the flashy and hurried movements of the others. Her name was Maya. She smiled gently at the guests she passed, her eyes alert to the details, noticing which plates needed attention, who wanted another drink, and most importantly, who needed a little kindness. Maya's attention fell on the little girl. She was sitting alone, far from the noise, hugging herself slightly, her small body tense. Maya knelt down a few steps away, careful not to startle her. "Hi there," she said softly, her voice warm and soothing. The girl looked up briefly, unsure of the voice, but she didn't run. There was something gentle in Maya's tone that felt safe. "Would you like to dance?" Maya asked, smiling. It wasn't a question with pressure, it was an invitation, an offer of a simple choice. The little girl blinked, unsure. Dancing was not something she often did in front of strangers. The sounds of music were still strong in the hall, making her anxious. But Maya didn't push. She tapped her hand gently, encouraging the girl to move a finger, then a foot, in rhythm with the soft beat of the music. Slowly, almost hesitantly, the girl lifted a hand. Maya mirrored her movements, keeping her motion slow and easy to follow. Step by step, she showed the girl how to sway gently from side to side, how to tap her feet to the rhythm. It was simple, almost childlike, but it was enough. The girl's face softened. A tiny smile appeared as she copied Maya's gestures. Her father watched from a distance, standing silently, almost holding his breath. He had never seen his daughter respond to someone outside their family in this way. Maya clapped softly when the girl moved correctly, her praise light and encouraging. "Good job. You're doing so well." The girl's confidence grew, and soon she was taking small spins, moving her arms like she had never dared before. Her laughter bubbled up, sweet and clear, cutting through the background music. People around them started to notice, turning to see the little girl, her tiny figure spinning and laughing, guided by the calm, kind movements of Maya. Some whispered to each other, impressed by the scene. It was a rare and beautiful sight, innocence and joy blossoming in a room often filled with status and show. The father moved a little closer, careful not to interrupt. He wanted to see more, to understand how someone could connect with his daughter in a way that he sometimes struggled to. He noticed how patient Maya was, her movements careful, her instructions simple, her praise gentle. Every little step she took was designed to make the girl feel safe and proud, not rushed or judged. And the girl responded, her body loosening, her eyes brightening, her small hands reaching out with a new courage. Maya continued to dance with the girl, letting her lead sometimes, then gently guiding her back to the rhythm. She counted softly, 1, 2, 3, turn, keeping her voice steady and calm. The girl copied her, laughing when she spun too fast or stepped in the wrong direction. But Maya never criticized or corrected harshly, every mistake became a chance to smile and try again. The father felt a lump in his throat as he watched. In this small interaction, he saw not just dancing, but a bridge being built, a connection that he had hoped for his daughter, but never quite achieved on his own. Other guests were watching too, though quietly. Some were touched, some curious, but none understood the depth of what was happening. To them, it was simply a sweet moment. To the father, it was nothing short of extraordinary. The way Maya had entered his daughter's world and made it safe, joyful, and engaging, it was rare. It was more than talent, it was empathy, kindness, and understanding all combined. After a few minutes, the girl ran into her father's arms, still giggling. She pressed her small face to his chest, her body shaking with laughter. "Daddy, look. I danced," she exclaimed, her voice full of pride and excitement. He hugged her tightly, feeling a warmth that had been missing in many similar events. Then he looked at Maya, who stood a few steps away, smiling humbly, a little embarrassed by the attention. He nodded at her, a silent gesture of gratitude. Maya returned the nod with a soft smile, brushing it off as if it was nothing extraordinary. But to the father, it was everything. In that moment, he realized that sometimes the right person can arrive at the right time, changing the course of a life with something as simple as patience, kindness, and dance. The music played on, but the little girl no longer seemed overwhelmed by it. She moved freely now, her body relaxed, her mind at ease. The father watched, still holding her hand, feeling a sense of hope and relief. This evening, which could have been just another challenge for his daughter, had become a turning point. And it all started with Maya noticing a small, quiet child, and choosing to reach out with understanding and care. As the party continued, the father thought about the impact of this moment. Maya had not just danced, she had opened a door. A door for his daughter to feel confidence, joy, and trust. A door for him to see what true patience and empathy could achieve. And perhaps, he thought, a door that could change all their lives in ways they could not yet imagine. The little girl skipped happily next to her father, occasionally glancing back at Maya, who watched with quiet satisfaction. She had done more than help a child dance, she had sparked joy and courage. The father, moved deeply by the scene, knew he wanted this connection to continue. He didn't yet know how, but he felt certain that something important had begun this evening, something that would shape his daughter's life and, perhaps, his own in ways he could not yet see. The evening went on, with music, laughter, and conversations, but the father's attention remained partly with the small scene in the corner. His daughter, once overwhelmed and anxious, had found happiness in a simple dance, guided by a gentle hand and a kind heart. It was a reminder that the right touch, the right encouragement, and the right person could transform a moment and perhaps, even a life. By the end of the night, as guests began to leave and the mansion grew quieter, the father held his daughter's hand tightly, smiling down at her. "Thank you for dancing with me," she said softly, turning her eyes toward him, full of a light he hadn't seen in months. He smiled back, but his gaze shifted to Maya, who was packing away her service tray. A silent understanding passed between them, a recognition that something extraordinary had taken place, a connection that went beyond the ordinary duties of a waitress at a party. And as the father watched Maya leave, he felt a new sense of purpose. He knew this encounter was just the beginning. Something had started tonight, something that could grow into a lasting bond, a change for his daughter, and perhaps, for all of them. The magic of patience, empathy, and understanding had appeared in a simple dance, and the father would never forget it. The next morning, the billionaire could not stop thinking about what had happened the night before. The memory of his daughter laughing and dancing with Maya, the young black waitress, stayed in his mind like a bright, persistent light. He sat in his study, a large room filled with books, awards, and photos of his family, sipping his coffee while staring out the window at the sprawling garden below. The mansion was quiet now, the party a distant memory, but the image of Maya kneeling beside his daughter, guiding her with patience and care, remained vivid. He remembered the gentle way she had spoken, the soft encouragement that had made his daughter feel safe. He remembered the sparkle in his daughter's eyes, a sparkle he had rarely seen at large gatherings. And he felt something stir inside him, a mix of gratitude, curiosity, and admiration. He wanted to know more about this woman who had so easily reached his daughter's heart. Meanwhile, Maya had returned to her daily life, but she, too, found herself thinking about the little girl. She remembered the hesitant first step, the nervous glance, and then the gradual light of joy that spread across the child's face. It was a simple act, just dancing, but it had a profound impact. She smiled as she recalled the laughter, the small moments of pride when the girl learned a new step, and the warmth that came from the father's quiet acknowledgement. Maya had always loved working with children, but this moment had felt different, meaningful in a way she could not explain. Later that day, the billionaire made a decision. He called his assistant and asked her to find Maya. He wanted to meet her, not to hire her immediately, but to understand who she was, what motivated her, and how she had connected with his daughter so effortlessly. The assistant, slightly surprised, nodded and promised to locate her. Within an hour, Maya received a polite but firm invitation to meet at the mansion. When Maya arrived, she felt a mix of nervousness and curiosity. She had never met such a wealthy and influential family outside of work. She wore her uniform, her hair neatly tied back, and carried herself with calm confidence. She entered the study where the billionaire waited, and he rose to greet her, extending a hand. "Thank you for helping my daughter last night," he said sincerely. "I've never seen her so engaged and happy in a social setting. You have a gift, and I would like to understand it better." Maya blushed slightly, shaking his hand. "Thank you, sir. I just wanted her to feel safe and have fun. Dancing is one way I help children express themselves. Your daughter is very special, and she was ready to enjoy the moment." The billionaire nodded thoughtfully. "She is. And it's not always easy for her. Social events can be overwhelming, and she often withdraws. But with you, she smiled, laughed, and even led the dance at times. That is something remarkable." Maya smiled humbly. "I think every child has that spark. Sometimes they just need someone to show them they are safe to express themselves." They talked for a long time, discussing not just the events of the party but also the daughter's daily life, her challenges, and her unique way of experiencing the world. Maya shared simple strategies she had learned from experience, using rhythm, repetition, gentle encouragement, and play to help children with autism feel more comfortable and confident. She spoke with clarity, patience, and humility, and the billionaire listened, fascinated by her insight. He realized that her knowledge was practical and powerful. This was not just about dancing, it was about understanding a child's mind and emotions, guiding them gently, and making them feel capable and valued. He felt a growing admiration for Maya, not only for her skill but for her compassion and patience. It was rare to see someone connect with children in such a deep and meaningful way, especially in a single evening. Over the next few days, the billionaire observed his daughter closely. He noticed how she talked more about the party, how she mimicked some of the dance steps at home, and how she seemed lighter, more open, and more confident. He saw the subtle changes, the way she held her head higher, the way she spoke more freely about her feelings, and the way she smiled without hesitation. He knew that Maya had ignited something in her, a small but important spark of confidence and joy. Finally, he decided to reach out directly. He sent a formal message inviting Maya to visit the mansion again, this time for a more private session with his daughter. Maya was both surprised and honored. She had not expected this kind of recognition, and the idea of returning to the mansion, not as a waitress but as someone trusted to work with a child, filled her with excitement and responsibility. When Maya returned, the daughter ran to her immediately, her small hands reaching out. "You came back," she exclaimed, her face glowing with happiness. Maya knelt down, hugging her gently. "Of course, I did," she said softly. "Are you ready to dance again?" The daughter nodded vigorously. Together, they started moving to the music. But this time, it was calmer, quieter, and more focused. Maya noticed the daughter's favorite songs, the rhythms she responded to best, and the movements that made her feel most comfortable. She adjusted each step, each gesture, to ensure the daughter felt safe, confident, and proud. The billionaire watched from the side, marveling at the interaction. He saw his daughter laughing freely, spinning, clapping, and moving in ways he had never seen. He noticed the trust she placed in Maya, the way she followed her lead and yet expressed herself in her own unique way. He realized that this small interaction was more than just a dance, it was a bridge of trust, understanding, and emotional growth. Maya also began to notice something remarkable. The daughter was learning not just the dance, but also social cues, confidence, and communication. She was practicing eye contact, responding to encouragement, and showing pride in her achievements. For Maya, this was the most rewarding part, seeing a child develop confidence and joy through small, patient steps. Over the next several sessions, the father made sure to support the connection. He provided a safe and welcoming space, watched quietly, and allowed the daughter to explore and grow at her own pace. Maya continued to guide, teach, and encourage, always respecting the daughter's boundaries and unique personality. The bond between the daughter and Maya grew stronger each day, and slowly, the father realized that this was a gift he had never expected. He also noticed something about Maya herself. She was humble, kind, and dedicated, never asking for recognition or reward. Her joy came from helping, guiding, and connecting. He felt a deep respect and admiration for her character, and he began to think about how he could support her dreams and ambitions as well. This was not just about helping his daughter, it was about nurturing someone who had a rare gift, someone who could touch lives far beyond their own family. One afternoon, the billionaire asked Maya to sit with him privately. He wanted to know more about her life, her experiences, and her goals. Maya spoke openly, sharing her background, her love for helping children, and her passion for teaching through music and movement. He listened intently, realizing that she had faced challenges herself and had learned resilience, patience, and empathy through them. "I want to help her more than just through dance," he said finally. "I want to ensure she grows confident, happy, and capable of expressing herself in the world. You have the ability to do that. Would you be willing to work with her regularly?" Maya's eyes widened, and she nodded slowly, trying to hide her excitement. "I would be honored," she said softly. "It would be a privilege to help her grow." And so, a new chapter began. What started as a chance encounter at a party became a regular part of the daughter's life. Every session with Maya brought new lessons, new laughter, and new joy. The billionaire watched in quiet admiration, realizing that the best things in life often came from unexpected places and from people whose kindness and understanding could change lives in ways money never could. As days turned into weeks, the daughter's progress was evident. She danced with confidence, spoke more openly, and smiled without hesitation. She began to enjoy other social situations, knowing she had someone to guide her and support her. Maya's presence became a source of comfort and joy, not just for the daughter, but for the entire family. And through it all, the father realized an important truth: sometimes, the most meaningful connections come from unexpected people. Maya had come into their lives by chance, yet her impact was undeniable. It was not her job alone, nor her skill alone, it was her heart, her patience, and her understanding that made the difference. By the end of part 2, the stage is set, a deep bond between the daughter and Maya is forming, the father is deeply appreciative and supportive, and the promise of transformative growth and life-changing connections is clear. The story continues to build, showing how small acts of kindness, patience, and empathy can ripple through lives, creating hope, confidence, and joy in ways that last forever. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between the daughter and Maya grew stronger. Every afternoon, Maya arrived at the mansion with a small bag of music CDs, scarves, and a few props she used to make the lessons fun. The daughter would run to her as soon as she saw her, laughing, holding her hands, and ready to dance. The billionaire watched quietly from a distance, amazed by the patience and dedication Maya showed. He noticed that the daughter's behavior had changed not only during dance but in other parts of her life as well. She was speaking more clearly, trying new foods, asking questions, and even initiating small conversations with the staff in the mansion. These were things she rarely did before. The father realized that Maya's influence was spreading far beyond the dance floor. She was helping his daughter feel more confident in the world. Maya, for her part, felt a deep sense of purpose. She had worked with children before, but this child was special. Her attention to detail, her small quirks, and her way of moving required careful observation and gentle guidance. Maya had learned to read subtle cues: when to encourage, when to pause, and when to give space. She knew that forcing progress would only create stress, so she celebrated every small victory, no matter how minor it seemed. One afternoon, Maya decided to introduce a new activity. She brought a small, colorful scarf and placed it on the floor. "This is a magic carpet," she said with a smile. "We will dance and imagine we are flying. Can you try it with me?" The daughter's eyes widened. "Flying?" she asked, her voice filled with wonder. "Yes," Maya replied. "We can jump, twirl, and move like we are in the sky." Slowly, they began. The daughter watched Maya's movements and tried to copy her. At first, she was hesitant, her feet barely lifting off the ground. But with each gentle encouragement, she twirled a little more, jumped a little higher, and laughed freely. Maya clapped and cheered, her energy infectious. The billionaire, watching from the doorway, felt a warmth in his chest he had not felt in years. His daughter was smiling without fear, expressing herself without restraint, and it was all because of this remarkable young woman. After the dance, Maya sat beside the daughter. "You are amazing," she said softly. "Did you feel the magic carpet?" "Yes," the daughter whispered, her cheeks pink with excitement. "I flew." Maya smiled and nodded. "And every time you dance or try new things, you can remember that feeling. You can do anything you set your mind to." The billionaire, standing a few feet away, realized that Maya was teaching more than just dance. She was teaching courage, creativity, and self-belief. He admired her even more. He had seen many tutors, therapists, and teachers, but none had made such a deep connection with his daughter in such a short time. Maya was special. As the weeks passed, the billionaire noticed other changes too. The daughter's laughter was more frequent, and she was more comfortable around people she had previously avoided. Even the staff in the mansion commented on how bright and cheerful she had become. They noticed that she seemed to understand instructions better and responded with more confidence. The billionaire decided to thank Maya properly. One afternoon, he invited her into his private study. He wanted to speak to her not just as a father but as someone who truly appreciated her efforts. "Maya," he began, "what you are doing for my daughter is more than teaching dance. You are changing her life. I have watched her grow more in the past month than in years before. I want you to know that your work is valued and seen. Maya felt a warm glow. She had never worked for recognition or reward, but hearing these words from someone so respected made her heart swell. Thank you, sir, she said softly. I only want her to feel happy and confident. That is enough for me. The billionaire shook his head. It is more than enough, Maya. But I want to help you too. You have a rare gift, and I want to support you in any way I can. Maya looked at him, curious but cautious. Support me, she asked. Yes, he replied. Whether it is resources, training, or opportunities, I want you to have the chance to grow your skills and reach more children who need your help. Maya was speechless. She had never imagined that her simple work could be noticed or appreciated at this level. Her heart raced with excitement and gratitude. I don't know what to say, she whispered. Say yes, the billionaire said with a kind smile. Say yes to making an even bigger difference. Maya nodded slowly, tears in her eyes. Yes. I will do my best. From that moment, a plan began to form. The billionaire wanted Maya to continue working with his daughter, of course, but he also wanted to give her the tools and resources to help other children. He arranged for private sessions, proper training, and access to materials that could make her work more effective. Maya could hardly believe this was happening. What had started as a casual act of kindness at a party was now becoming a life-changing opportunity. Meanwhile, the daughter's development continued to progress beautifully. She began to explore new movements, create her own dances, and even express her emotions through gestures and facial expressions. Maya encouraged creativity, letting her daughter invent steps, choose music, and even lead parts of the sessions. The daughter thrived under this freedom, gaining independence and pride in her abilities. One day, the billionaire joined a session, sitting quietly at the edge of the room. He watched Maya guide his daughter through a complex series of movements. The daughter stumbled at first but then regained her balance, finishing with a bright, triumphant smile. The father felt a swell of pride and gratitude. Maya's patience, skill, and care had transformed his daughter's life in ways he could never have imagined. Over time, Maya also became part of the family in a subtle but meaningful way. She was not just a teacher or a tutor, she was someone who understood the daughter deeply, someone the daughter trusted completely. The father saw how much his daughter relied on Maya's guidance, how comfortable she felt with her, and how much joy she brought into their home. The father also began to reflect on his own life. He realized that he had spent much of his time focused on work, wealth, and responsibilities, often neglecting the simple joys and meaningful connections that truly mattered. Seeing Maya's influence on his daughter reminded him of the importance of kindness, patience, and genuine human connection. He felt inspired to spend more time with his daughter, to be present, and to support her growth in every way possible. One evening, after a particularly successful session, the daughter hugged Maya tightly. Thank you, she whispered, her small voice full of emotion. I love dancing with you. Maya hugged her back gently. I love dancing with you too, she said. And I am so proud of you. The billionaire, watching them, felt tears prick his eyes. He realized that this moment, this connection, was more valuable than anything money could buy. It was a gift of trust, love, and understanding, something that could not be measured or purchased, only nurtured and cherished. As part 3 comes to a close, the story has reached a turning point. The daughter is thriving under Maya's guidance, the father recognizes the depth of her impact, and Maya herself is being offered opportunities that could extend her gift to many more children. The relationships are deepening, trust is growing, and the stage is set for the next chapter, where challenges, growth, and unexpected opportunities will continue to unfold. Weeks had passed since Maya had started working regularly with the daughter. The changes in the little girl were remarkable. She laughed more freely, expressed herself with confidence, and even approached new situations with curiosity instead of fear. The billionaire watched closely, amazed at how a single person's care and patience could make such a powerful difference. But he also began to see something beyond the immediate improvement in his daughter. He saw the potential in Maya herself, the rare talent she possessed, and the impact she could have on many other children like his daughter. One morning, the billionaire called Maya into his office. He had prepared a small plan for her, one that could extend her teaching beyond his mansion. "Maya," he began, "you've done incredible work with my daughter. I've watched her grow, not just in skill but in confidence, in courage, and in joy. But I believe your gift can help more children. I want to help you build something bigger, an opportunity to reach more families who need your guidance." Maya blinked, a mix of surprise and gratitude crossing her face. She had never imagined her work could have such recognition or support. I I don't know what to say," she whispered. "I just want to help children." "And that is exactly why this will work," the billionaire replied. "You care deeply, you have patience, and you have skill. I can provide resources, connections, and guidance. You provide the heart and the talent. Together, we can create something amazing." Maya felt a rush of excitement. She had always dreamed of helping more children, but she had no means, no platform, and no connections. Now, here was an opportunity she had never expected. She nodded slowly. "I'm willing," she said quietly, yet firmly. "I will do my best." The billionaire smiled. "Then we start immediately. First, let's continue working with your daughter here, but we also need to think about how to expand your reach. I can introduce you to specialists, psychologists, and other professionals who can help structure your methods. And, of course, we can provide materials, space, and support." Over the next few days, Maya began to plan with the billionaire's team. They discussed how to structure her teaching, how to create a safe and welcoming environment for other children, and how to share her techniques with parents who wanted to help their children grow. She was amazed by the support and resources being offered. She had always worked with what little she had, improvising and learning on the spot. Now, she had the opportunity to take her skills to a new level with guidance and backing she had never imagined. Meanwhile, the daughter's confidence continued to grow. She was learning new steps, experimenting with music, and even beginning to lead some of the sessions herself. Maya encouraged this independence, gently guiding her while letting her take the initiative. The billionaire watched in awe as his daughter, once shy and hesitant, became expressive, assertive, and joyful. He knew that Maya's influence was a major reason for this transformation. One afternoon, the daughter decided to show her father a new dance she had learned. Maya encouraged her to perform, and the little girl moved gracefully across the room, twirling, clapping, and smiling brightly. The father couldn't help but clap and cheer. "That was amazing," he exclaimed. "You are incredible." The daughter beamed, looking at Maya for approval. Maya smiled warmly. "You did it all yourself," she said softly. "I just showed you the steps. You made them yours." The father realized that this was the perfect balance. Maya guided, encouraged, and supported, but she also allowed the daughter to grow independently. It was not just teaching, it was mentoring, nurturing, and empowering. And the results were astonishing. Word of the daughter's progress began to spread quietly among the mansion's staff and visitors. People were amazed at the changes they saw, at the confidence, joy, and expression the daughter had gained. Maya's reputation began to grow, not through publicity, but through the sincere admiration of those who witnessed her work. The billionaire also noticed another change. Maya herself seemed to grow more confident, more assured, and more inspired by the possibilities ahead. She spoke with clarity, planned with precision, and expressed a vision for helping children that was both practical and compassionate. He admired her strength, intelligence, and dedication. He realized that helping Maya grow would ultimately help countless children, and that thought filled him with purpose. One day, he invited Maya to a private meeting. "I want to do something special for you," he said. "You have transformed my daughter's life, and I want to help you reach your full potential. I would like to offer you a permanent position here, not just as a teacher for my daughter, but as a director of a program that can help other children. You will have resources, staff, and space. You can create a program that truly makes a difference." Maya was overwhelmed. She had never expected such an offer, and her heart raced with gratitude. I I don't know what to say," she whispered. "This is more than I ever imagined." "Then say yes," the billionaire said gently. "Say yes to changing lives not just for my daughter, but for many children who need your guidance and care." Maya nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "Yes," she said softly. "I will do it. I promise to do my best." The billionaire smiled, pleased. "I know you will. And I want you to know that I believe in you completely." With the plan in motion, Maya began working with a small team the billionaire had arranged. They helped her create lesson plans, gather materials, and organize spaces for children to learn and express themselves. Maya felt a deep sense of responsibility, but also excitement. She realized that her work, which had begun as a simple act of kindness, was now becoming a movement, one that could touch the lives of many children and families. At the same time, the daughter continued to flourish. She was more social, more confident, and more expressive than ever. She began interacting with other children in the mansion, sharing dances, teaching small steps, and even helping guide them through simple exercises. Maya encouraged this leadership, showing the daughter that teaching and guiding others was another way to grow. The billionaire observed all of this with a sense of pride and admiration. He saw the impact of patience, guidance, and compassion. He realized that success and wealth were meaningful, but true value came from the positive influence one could have on others' lives. Maya had shown him this truth in action, and he was grateful beyond words. As the days went on, the mansion became a hub of activity. Children came to learn, parents observed, and Maya's influence spread quietly but powerfully. The daughter became a model of confidence and joy, and Maya became a mentor and guide for other children. The billionaire watched with pride, knowing that both of these women had transformed not only his daughter's life but the atmosphere of the entire household. One evening, as the sun set over the mansion's gardens, the daughter danced with Maya in the warm light of the setting sun. The father watched silently from the balcony, feeling a deep sense of peace and happiness. He realized that this journey had started with a simple act of kindness, a waitress helping his daughter dance at a party, and had grown into something far greater than he could have imagined. Maya looked at the daughter and smiled. "You have grown so much," she said softly. "I am proud of you." The daughter hugged her tightly. "I couldn't have done it without you," she whispered. The billionaire felt tears in his eyes as he watched the scene. He realized that the world was full of unexpected gifts, people who could touch lives in ways money or power never could. Maya was one of those gifts, and he knew that her presence in their lives was something to treasure forever. By the end of part 4, the story has reached a new height. Maya's work is expanding beyond the daughter herself is thriving and taking on leadership in small ways, and the billionaire recognizes the power of human kindness and patience. The stage is set for the final part, where transformation, gratitude, and life-changing events come full circle, showing the true impact of compassion and connection. The days at the mansion were filled with laughter, music, and movement. The daughter had grown into a confident, joyful little girl, who now looked forward to every session with Maya. Each day, she discovered new steps, new ways to express herself, and new confidence in her abilities. She even began to dance independently in the mansion's garden, twirling beneath the sun, her laughter echoing in the open space. The billionaire often watched from a distance, his heart swelling with pride and gratitude. Maya, meanwhile, had settled comfortably into her new role. She was no longer just a teacher for one child, she had become a mentor, a guide, and an inspiration to many. With the support of the billionaire's resources, she was able to reach more children who needed her care, patience, and skill. She had created a small program within the mansion, a safe and joyful environment where children could explore movement, express themselves, and learn confidence. Parents visited, watched, and learned how to support their children, guided by Maya's gentle instruction. The daughter had grown particularly attached to one exercise that Maya had introduced weeks earlier, the magic scarf. It was no longer just a prop, it had become a symbol of freedom, imagination, and confidence. She would wave it in the air, jump, twirl, and laugh, feeling as though she could fly. Maya watched her with admiration, proud of the progress she had made, but also humbled by the trust and love the child had placed in her. The billionaire decided it was time to host a small gathering to celebrate the daughter's progress and the impact Maya had made. He invited close family, friends, and a few professionals who had observed Maya's teaching. He wanted everyone to see the transformation and understand the dedication behind it. The day arrived, and the mansion was alive with excitement. Children were practicing dances, parents were smiling proudly, and Maya was guiding everyone with patience and encouragement. When it was time for the daughter to perform, she stepped into the center of the room, holding her magic scarf. Her eyes shone with excitement and determination. Maya gave her a gentle nod, and the daughter began to move. She twirled, leaped, and waved the scarf in graceful arcs. The room was filled with applause, laughter, and cheers. The father watched with tears in his eyes, overwhelmed by the beauty and confidence his daughter now displayed. She was no longer shy or hesitant, she was expressive, brave, and joyful. After the performance, the billionaire approached Maya. "You have done something extraordinary," he said softly. "You have not only helped my daughter, but you have also inspired everyone here. Your patience, dedication, and love have created something truly special. I am grateful beyond words." Maya smiled, a warmth spreading through her chest. "Thank you," she said quietly. "But the daughter is amazing too. She has worked so hard, and she is the reason this is all possible. I only guided her." The billionaire shook his head. "You guided her in a way no one else could. You saw her potential, believed in her, and helped her reach it. That is extraordinary. And I want you to know, this is just the beginning. There are many more children out there who need your guidance, and I want to support you in helping them." Maya felt a rush of emotion. She had always dreamed of helping children, but never imagined that her simple acts of teaching could be recognized, valued, and supported on such a large scale. I I will do my best," she said, her voice steady but filled with gratitude. In the following weeks, Maya's program expanded. More children joined, each with their own unique challenges and personalities. Maya adapted her lessons to meet their needs, using the same patience, creativity, and understanding she had shown with the daughter. The mansion became a hub of learning, expression, and joy. Parents watched with amazement as their children gained confidence, learned to express themselves, and discovered new ways to interact with the world. The daughter continued to flourish. She began teaching small movements to other children, sharing the joy she had found in dance. She took pride in helping others, guided by Maya's gentle encouragement. Her laughter was infectious, her confidence undeniable, and her love for movement evident in every step. The billionaire watched proudly, knowing that his daughter had not only grown in confidence and skill but had also developed compassion, leadership, and empathy. One afternoon, the daughter approached Maya with a question. "Can we help children who don't come here? Children who are far away?" she asked, her eyes wide with curiosity and concern. Maya smiled. "Yes, we can," she replied. "There are ways to reach them, through lessons, videos, and guidance for their parents. We can help them too." The daughter's face lit up with excitement. "Can we do it?" she asked eagerly. Yes, Maya said, holding her hand. We can. The billionaire, overhearing their conversation, was impressed. He realized that the daughter's empathy, inspired by Maya, was growing just as much as her confidence. He approached Maya and whispered, "You have not only taught my daughter to dance, but you have taught her to care for others. That is a gift beyond measure." As the program grew, Maya became a mentor to other teachers as well. She shared her techniques, her patience, and her understanding, helping others learn how to guide children effectively. Her influence expanded far beyond the mansion, touching lives in ways she had never imagined. One evening, after a full day of lessons, the daughter and Maya sat together in the mansion's garden. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the flowers and trees. The daughter leaned against Maya, tired but happy. "Thank you for everything," she whispered. Maya hugged her gently. "Thank you for trusting me," she replied. "You have taught me so much too. You have shown me what courage, joy, and determination really mean." The billionaire watched from the balcony, a deep sense of peace filling him. He realized that the world was full of unexpected gifts, people who could touch lives in ways wealth or power never could. Maya was one of those gifts, and he knew that her presence in their lives was something to cherish forever. The story of Maya, the daughter, and the billionaire spread quietly among those who witnessed it. People spoke of the bond between teacher and student, the transformation of the daughter, and the power of kindness, patience, and dedication. Maya's work became an example of how one person's care could create ripples of positive change, reaching far beyond what anyone could have imagined. Years later, the daughter would look back on this time as the turning point in her life. She would remember the magic scarves, the dances, and the gentle guidance of Maya. She would remember the trust her father placed in Maya and the love that surrounded her. And she would carry that confidence, empathy, and joy into everything she did. Maya, too, would reflect on her journey. She had started with a single child, offering simple lessons in dance and expression. She had never imagined that her work would grow into a program that touched the lives of many. She had never imagined that her kindness and patience would be recognized and supported in such a profound way. And she had never imagined the bond she would form with a little girl who would change her life as much as she changed hers. The billionaire often said that the greatest investment he had ever made was in Maya and his daughter, not in money, not in property, not in business, but in the human connection that had transformed his daughter's life and inspired a broader wave of kindness and growth. On the final day of that special year, the daughter performed a dance in the mansion's grand hall. Maya guided her gently, the other children clapped, and the billionaire watched with tears of pride in his eyes. The room was filled with light, music, laughter, and love. The journey had begun with a simple act of kindness at a party, but it had grown into something far greater, something lasting, meaningful, and transformative. As the daughter finished her performance, she ran to Maya and hugged her tightly. "I love dancing with you," she said softly. "I love dancing with you too," Maya replied, holding her close. "And I am so proud of you." The billionaire joined them, placing a hand on both of their shoulders. "You have both taught me what truly matters," he said. "Kindness, patience, trust, and love, these are the things that create real change." The daughter smiled, her eyes shining with joy. Maya smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. And the billionaire, watching the two of them, felt hope, gratitude, and a renewed sense of purpose. The story had come full circle. From a simple act of guidance at a party, a chain of kindness, patience, and dedication had created transformation, opportunity, and lasting joy. Lives had been changed, not by wealth or status, but by the power of connection, understanding, and love. And in that moment, the mansion was filled not just with music and movement, but with a sense of hope that would continue to inspire for years to come.